can be better, and both are complementary. Remembering and forgetting are complementary. And what is the definition of memory? Sorry, remembering.
So the ability to recognize, recall, and retain concepts.
Okay. Recall and retain concepts. Ability to recognize. Okay. But let me put us very simple. I think this is what Rose also told. If one is able to recognize or recall the retained concept whenever needed, is called the two words you have to remember. If one is able to recognize or recall the retained means which is already in the brain. So there will be some place where this can be stored. From that storage, you are telling retained is a stored concepts. So if one is able to recall or recognize the retained concept whenever needed. See, it's not that, see, today also I can ask what is the definition of remembering. Tomorrow also I can ask what is the definition of remembering. After 1 month also we can ask what is the definition of remembering. Every time we have to tell. If you are telling every time, it means that we have memory. After 1 month, if you are not able to tell, means what is that called as?
Forgetting.
Forgetting. Good. That is forgetting. Okay. So the same definition you see, I have put for forgetting. If one is not able to, this only I have added. If one is not able to recognize or recall the retained concept whenever needed, is called as forgetting. Okay. So the definition for remembering and forgetting is one and the same. Only thing, if we are able, then that is remembering. If you are unable, then that is forgetting. That's all. Only that is the difference. Okay. Now we'll go for the process of remembering. What are the process? What are the steps? Steps which are one after the another, which is followed in the process of remembering, and that is this. The first one is sensory. Sensation, we have read. Sensation, retention, recognition, recall. And the first one and two are the steps, and three or four. It can be the remember the after this. It can be either three or four. In one of the way, you can do the remembering. So it's not totally 4 steps. It's 3 steps where the third and fourth you can put as R type, either or. Either you can recognize or recall. In that way, you can take it as. Okay. So we'll go one by one. I think you know about sensation. Okay, what is sensation? Anisha? Dibya Ranjangri? Sensation. Can you define sensation? Giri? Dia?
So it's a feeling we get after interacting with the environment.
It is a feeling we get. Is that we told in last class? The energy which falls on the sensory organs is called sensation. That is that simple? Okay, see, feeling is another domain. See, feeling is a little bit different.
Feeling, sir.
What we are dealing it is cognition. These both are a little bit different, little bit different, but sometimes happen simultaneously also. Cognition is an act of knowing. It is a process of knowing. Cognition means it's a process of knowing. So in this process of knowing only we have seen sensation, perception, attention, and it goes on. Consciousness, all those things. Feeling is a little bit different. So it's an affective domain. Feeling is affective domain. Happiness, unhappiness, our moods. It is an affective domain. But the definition does not include feeling. So, but feeling may contribute for sensation, may encourage or discourage, may enhance or not enhance. But the sensation is very simple. It is an energy. It's the energy falling on the senses, sense organs. The energy falling on the sense organs is called a sensation. That's all simple. Don't add feeling. Okay. Otherwise, I will feel, but because my students are telling wrong.
Okay, sir.
Then retention. What do you mean by that retention? So retention is. I said no, just no. Definition also I use. Retention is otherwise storing. So you sense it and then you retain it in the brain and you store it in the brain. That storing is called retention. From that, whenever we need, if you can get it out through the process. Two processes are there. One process is recognition, the another process is recall. Okay. Then that is called remembering. Okay. So the four steps. The first is sensation. After sensation, you retain it. Then from the storage, if something is called, if somebody is giving a stimulus, for that you will be taking from the memory, from the storage. Okay. From the storage you will be taking by either of the process. One process is recognition, the other process is recall. And if you do so, then that is called as remembering. If you do not do it, then that is called as forgetting. Okay, that's all. That's about the remembering. So four stage. Can you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
Who is he?
Thanos.
Thanos. Thanos. How do I call? Can you recognize this person or can you recall this person? Which word shall I use?
Thanos.
No, Thanos is the answer, ma'am. I have a little bit came forward. I am asking, which word shall I use? Shall you recognize? Shall you recognize this person or shall you recall this person? Which one shall I use?
Recognize, sir.
Recognize.
Recognize. Why? Why recognize is correct? Okay, answer is correct.
We could identify him.
Okay, right. A little bit, but answer is correct. Then we have to just yes.
If you had seen this before, before so many times, so before a month or a day, we can ask, can you recall?
Oh, if you have seen a month or a day before, then we can use the word recall. Otherwise, recognize we should use. Is it that what you want to tell?
If it is presenting for the second time.
Oh, if it is presented for the second time, we can use.
Can you recall this person?
Okay, right. Okay, right. That's good. That's good. We'll go for further. I can ask like this. I'll put it the correct way only. Do you recognize this person? And you said the answer is correct, Thanos. Or otherwise, recall is not the correct word. But anyway, I'll be explaining this. I am on the process of explanation. At this moment, we will use the correct term. Do you recognize this, Thanos? Okay. A little bit. I want to go away from the syllabus. Not very much away. And Thanos is a destructive force. It is from psychology, and it is from Sigmund Freud's theory. They have taken from Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is a great psychologist who almost 120 years before he said our three levels of our mind: subconscious, conscious, and superconscious. The ego and superego. That's what he discovered. And he told about two forces which within us. One force is called libido. The other force is called thanatos. Thanatos. The libido is the life-giving energy. It's an energy. It's life energy. Thanos is the destructive force in our mind, and therefore he said only Thanatos. From these word Thanos has come, and that was the villain's name in the Avengers Endgame, Thanos. Because there are some films which use a psychological theory. You know that memory loss. One film on memory, even in Tamil it has come. I don't know about other languages. And Onion, the film, memory loss and personality, multiple personality, and Chandramukhi, the film. So they use many psychological concepts, and those films it was blockbusters. Okay. Just I want to just tell about these words. That's a little bit, but anyway, it is linked to psychology. Or the other way, how can I ask this? The other way I can ask this question as who is the villain of the Avengers Endgame? This is another way of putting it. So one way is that by showing the man, and I am asking, do you recognize this? And then without showing, while asking this question, I should not show his image. Without the image, this question should come: who is the villain of the Avengers Endgame? And this is the question for recall. Can you tell now the difference? I'll repeat once again. If there is an image, then you have to use the word recognize. If there is no image, then you have to use the question, which is under a blue background. Who is the villain in the Avengers Endgame film? That is for recall, without image. So can you tell me what is difference between a recognize and a recall?
Sir, is it the verbal retention and visual retention?
Retention.
Sir,
Okay. In that way, it's not about a retention, but still more or less little bit different. Any other?
So
It's not.
question two, the answer may be recalling and
sir, for picture remembering,
One second, Avinash. Vijayalakshmi, let her complete.
when the hint is given and we find the answer, it may be recognition.
Avinash, your answer? Is that Avinash only, no? Was answering before. Yes, Avinash?
sir, for picture, sir,
Huh? Tell me. Okay. Vijayalakshmi's answer is correct. If see that word, if there is a hint, then it is called as a recognize. Then you have to use the word recognize. If there is no hint, then it is recall. In recalling, we will never give any prompt, any cues, any hints. In recognize, you will be giving some form of hints. That may be also picture, that may be also word, or whatever it is. If there is a hint, then it is recognize. If there is nothing, then that is recall. Suppose if I ask like this, which is the capital of India, and then I will tell it starts with D. Which is the capital of India? It starts with the letter D. If I say, then under which category it falls?
Recognize, sir.
Good, recognize. Because there is a hint. It is not necessarily about retention, about visual or auditory or whatsoever it is. If there is a hint, then that is recognized. If there is nothing, no hints, no clues, no cues, no prompts, then that is recall. Okay. In that way we are taking. In that way it differs. Recognize and recall. And out of these two, recognize and recall, which one will be easy for us?
Recognize.
Recognize, sir.
Recognize is easy. Why recognize is easy?
Because a part of answer is given to us.
Yes, and you're right. So because the part of answer is given, therefore recognize is easier than recall. In recall, you have to collect. You have to collect all from your storage. We have to collect all from our storage. Okay. Right. Now I am projecting before you two types of question. What is the question on the left hand side? Which type it falls?
Recognize, sir.
Yes, correct. What is the question on the right hand side? Which category?
Recall.
Recall category. You see the difference. The question on the left is recognize and question on the right is recall. The question on the left is multiple choice and the question on the right is one word answer. And both questions falls under objective category, objective type of question. Okay, both are objective type. And only thing is the left hand side you are giving a part of the answer, therefore it is called as it comes under the category recognize. Because Emily was written by, now it is limited to 4%. From among the 4%, you have to select one person. When you come to right hand side, there are hundreds of person we do not know. If we know correctly from the storage, you can tell. If you do not know, then you have to search for the answer from in our storage. Okay, right. So there's a difference between the recognize and recall. And recognize is easy, recall is bit difficult because all along the way you have to search from our bin. From the bin we have to take it. Okay, as like computer. If the remembering happens with the help of external stimulus, then that is called as
Recognize.
recognize. Good. Then that is called as recognize. Yes, Tejashree, can you tell definition for recall using the same thing? Tejashree?
Sir, in place of external stimulus, internal stimulus. It's because of what we have inside us.
Very good. If the remembering happens with the help of internal stimulus, then that is called as, that's also right. Then just I didn't use the word external, sorry, internal.
Without the help of
I have put without. If the remembering happens, yours is also correct. Your answer is also correct. There are two ways. One way you can change with and without these words. this word you can change, and the another type, this word you can change. Both are right, and this is called as recall. Okay, and for this question answer, which is difficult also we have discussed. So the recognition is easier. So that's all about the process. These are the stages. Whatever you have seen, the 4 stages. So first you have to see, you have to hear, you have to touch, you have to smell, you have to taste. That is sensation. So sensation, and then you have to store it, and then whatever sensed, whatever stored, that could be either recall or recognize anyone. Then only the process is getting completed. Remembering. If you either recall or if you do recognize, then that is the process of remembering. So these are the steps along with explanation. Okay. We know this word lethological. Lethological. I think we are all familiar, but I am presenting in somewhat high defined term. That's all. A scientific term, if I say, then sometimes it may not be recognized. That's the correct word, recognized. If I say tip of the tongue, then you can tell. What is the tip of tongue phenomenon? I think this you know, na? Tip of the tongue. What do you mean by this tip of the tongue phenomenon? If sometimes a question is asked, no, we will be knowing the answer, but we were unable to tell. Sometimes it has come up to our mouth, but up to our neck, but we will not able to tell. We will feel. See, I read, but I didn't get it. Like that, we will tell. So that is called as tip of the tongue phenomenon. Tip of the tongue is otherwise called as lethological. That is scientific term. That's all. Normal term is tip of the tongue. So many times we do come across. So we have learned, we have retained, we have stored in our brain. But when the stimulus is coming, if you try to answer, somehow you got to know the answer, but it is not being expressed, and that we call it a tip of the tongue phenomenon, which is otherwise lethological. This also happens to us, and this is a little bit about how our memory works. Okay, let me start from the left point. See, this is the sensory inputs. So how many senses we have?
5, sir.
5 senses. So through 5 senses, you may receive the sensitization, the energy falling upon the senses. So majority through eye and ears. So light and sound, majority, audio visual aids. Okay, so majority it will come 2 things only. These things are being sensed, and it is now being in the sensory memory. And if it coupled with attention, it goes to short-term memory. So we call it as STM, short-term memory. So we have sensed, and if you select it, then it becomes an attention. See, all the energy is falling through your senses, but you select it because you'll be in your home, mostly in your home, and then listening this class. But surrounding you may have some disturbances. Maybe the TV is going, or some other thing, your relative is speaking to others. Those things are there. All these are sensation. Everything falls on your senses, but you select it. You select the teacher's voice, then it is attention. So from sensation, if attention is coupled, then those things will be transferred to short-term memory. The unattended will be last. That is what here. The unattention. You are not giving attention to it. Suppose your father is speaking to somebody else. Suppose your mother is cooking from kitchen and some noise is coming from kitchen. You will not attend it, and that will be last. If you are attending my voice, then that is transferred to short-term memory. Otherwise, this is called as working memory. Short-term memory is otherwise called as working memory. So now you assimilate whatever I said, whatever I am saying to you. Now it will be in short-term, STM, short-term memory. Okay. So think a week's time. A week's time, you are not coming to learning and teaching at all. Just from this moment onwards, after a week, you are not seeing L&T at all, learning and teaching at all. You are not seeing. After 1 week, 80% will be lost. 50% of what you have learned will be lost. Okay. That is what it is. It is lost. The unrehearsed information is quickly lost. But if you rehearse it, if you see it again, if you relearn it, then it goes to what is called as LTM, long-term memory. If you again read again, relearn, revisit one more time, just see what is sensation. That fellow told memory, no, he told about remembering, he told forgetting. What are these things? If he says second time, third time, fourth time, then those things will be shifted. It will be shifted to long-term memory. Okay. So otherwise, that will be in short-term memory only. And that will be lost. 80% will be lost within a week's time. Only 20% will be remain. If it is being practiced again and again, but everything goes to long-term memory. And that is why if you read again, then it will be useful for our examinations. Then it will be useful for our profession. Then it will be useful for our life. If you are not reading again only, if you are seeing in the class, then many things will be forgetting. And these are the processes. Encoding and all will be processed because it's a brain process. All those things which you are hearing, which you are seeing, which you are smelling, which you are tasting, which you are touching, everything it will be put in the form of neuronal codes. So neuronal information. So as like the computer stores, how does computer stores? Whatever you give input in the computer, how does it stores? It stores only
In the form of codes, sir.
It stores only with the 2 digits, 0 and 1. And those are called as binary digits. Computer use only 2 digits, 0 and 1. Whatever you do, even video, audio, text file, image file. For us it is image, for us it is Thanos. For computer that is not Thanos. For computer it is only 0 and 1. Whatever you does, everything it will be stored in only 2 digits, binary digits. Okay. So that's why in mathematics you read the conversion between binary and some other thing. So 0 and 1. Likewise, that is an encoding process. And then if you want to get it, it has to be decoded. That 0, 1 has to be decoded and it will come in the form of image, in the form of videos, in the form of audios, in the form of text file, in the form of image file. Likewise, our brain the same manner. How the computer works, the same manner our brain works. Or I have to put in rather like this. How the brain works, in the same way the computer works. Because the brain is we have to give the honor to our brain. We should not say brain is working like computer. We should say computer is working like brain. Like that only we should say. Okay, so our brain takes in all those things, whatever is there. That day you scolded, no. That day you scolded, no. Like that, many things will be there, but everything it will be stored in form of some coding. I do not know exactly. Maybe it's neuronal coding, not like binary digits in computer. Some neuronal coding, maybe path. That's what the memory psychologist says, like path, neuronal pathways. In some pathways, it will be stored, and whenever you want, it can be recalled. It can be decoded, and then it will be recalled from the long-term memory. So whatever is the, it will be in working memory alone. Even though it is stored in LTM, from there it has to be picked up and it has to come to working memory, and from there only we will tell define sensation. That will be in long-term memory. So define perception. That will be in long-term memory. From there you will pick, and where it will be working, it will be working in STM. That is why it is called as working memory. Okay. So this is the what you call it as the knowledge, the memory type. Full. Okay. How does one how does the thing goes inside the memory in the brain's box? So sensory input. From sensory input to sensory memory, their attention is coupled to make into STM. If it is unattended, then that will be lost. From STM, if you read again and again, that goes to LTM. If we are not able to see it again, if we are not revisiting it, then that will be lost. And well, if it is stored in long-term memory, then you have to get it from your internal stimulus or by external stimulus. If you are getting it, then that is remembering. If you are not getting, then that is forgetting. Okay, so this is the process. So the process of how our memory works. So with this, I stop this class. Now I'll summarize what we have seen today.